Men say no. It's a phrase echoing louder than ever across China, and yet many women still can't understand why they are single. Chinese men are no longer willing to play the role of provider, protector, and silent sufferer, while getting little in return. For decades, the burden of marriage in China fell squarely on men's shoulders, buying a house, affording bride price, taking care of in-laws, and constantly proving their worth. Now many men are walking away from that deal. As a 38-year-old leftover woman, I can honestly tell everyone, it's not that we don't want to get married or that we're against marriage, we just don't want to marry someone we don't like. The problem is we can't find someone we both like who also likes us back and is willing to marry us. So we end up not getting married. But that shouldn't be a reason for people to insult or belittle us, because everyone has the right to choose their own path in life. I chose to be single at an older age, so loneliness is something I must bear myself. Some people choose marriage but they're not happy, that's what they have to endure. If we could meet someone with good character, aligned values, someone who is caring and treats us well, who wouldn't want to get married, right? Now that I'm almost 40, I really regret not seriously looking for a husband. I spent 10 years working like crazy and I didn't even want to date. In the end, I've realized that emotionally I'm completely empty. When I was 38, my father passed away. I had stopped working for half a year to take care of him and be with him. After that, work started to dry up, and I suddenly stopped feeling that constant panic. It's been 2 years since my father passed and I feel lonelier than ever. Whenever I have a week off, I buy a plane ticket and go back to my home in Guangdong to be with my family. My sister-in-law always looks confused. She probably thinks I've suffered some major blow and came back to heal or something. She doesn't dare ask me anything, but she cooks a whole bunch of delicious food every day, maybe to comfort what she thinks is a wounded heart. Then my little nephew says, "Auntie, come play games with me." That's when I realized, oh my God, that was the happiest moment of my life. In that moment I finally understood, it's not that my family needs me like everyone says, it's that I need them. They are my reason to keep going. This is something I only came to understand as I approached 40. Turns out I want a home. I want a family life and that kind of atmosphere. I want a child too. I just don't know if it's still possible. It's not that I don't believe in love or marriage, it's that I long for it too much. Can a person truly live only for themselves? If you could go back to when you were 19, what kind of adventure would you want to have? I'm a single woman born in the late 80s and honestly I'm feeling really anxious right now. When I was younger, I always thought I was too young and didn't want to be in a relationship at all. All I cared about was doing well at work, and after work I'd think about where to hang out and what good food to try. Back then I thought life should be carefree like that. But time passes so fast. Before I knew it, I was getting older and older, and yet I still hadn't settled down. Every time I see my parents growing gray hair and the way they worry about me, I feel really awful inside. They should be enjoying their old age, but instead they're still staying up at night worrying about my future. I feel so guilty. Now I finally understand. At every stage in life you need to take care of the things that belong to that stage. Don't miss the chance to fall in love when it's time, and don't slack off when it's time to build your career. I was too headstrong back then and didn't realize this, and that's how I ended up in such a passive situation. I hope my experience can serve as a reminder to everyone, don't wait until it's too late to regret it. Dear friends, what about you? Have you had similar experiences or anxieties? Born in 1987, 38 years old, single and never married. Well, I want to talk about a consequence we're seeing today, young people not getting married, not having children, and not looking for partners. First, you'll definitely end up without descendants. Second, when you get sick and need surgery in the hospital, there will be no one to sign the consent form for you. Third, when you end up in a nursing home, others might bully you because you don't have children. They might even slap you in the face and no one will stand up for you. Right? When you're young, you think, not having a partner, not having kids means no burden. You live freely, right? But when you get old, you'll realize that every day is spent in loneliness, just waiting to die. No family, no companionship, it's actually very sad, very pitiful, and very scary. Think about it, isn't that true? So people, whether rich or poor, early or late, you must get married and you must have children. What do you think? Do you agree? Why do women today have such high standards? Do you know why? Because she knows she'll never amount to anything in her life. She knows what she's like, mediocre. She can't make it on her own, so she wants to find a rich man to marry so she can immediately start living a good life. She wants someone tall, handsome, with no one else around him, rich, successful in his career, whose family also has some money, and whose parents have pensions. You think a guy from such a family can't find a wife? You earn 3,000 or 4,000 yuan a month and expect a man to make 7,000. Fine. But you can't be making 3,000 or 4,000 and expect the man to be making 30,000 or 40,000 a month. A man making 30 to 40K a month, earning 400 to 500K a year, he can't find a wife? He just doesn't want to suffer through hard times. He only wants a good life. What, aren't you living a hard life yourself? If two people have feelings for each other, they should grow old together through mutual effort. What you want in life should be achieved through hard work, not just walk into a life where the man has already prepared everything. Right, it's not like your parents' generation. Back then, couples worked hard together. Let me tell you something. Getting married these days is like inviting a guest. Do you know the difference between a guest and family? A guest is someone who comes over, the food is ready, they eat, wipe their mouth, and leave. Pick up a bowl, eat, and they're done. What's family? Family means you cook, I wash the dishes. You mop the floor, I wipe the table. You earn the money, I take care of the kids. That's family, mutual cooperation and effort. What's a guest? A guest gets in the car, eats, gets out, lies down. Got it? These days, people aren't marrying family members, they're marrying guests. Right? I want to find someone who becomes family, who builds a life together. Not someone who shows up with a suitcase, moves in, and enjoys the benefits without effort. If you want something, you have to work for it. It should be mutual. If you just want to move in with a suitcase and enjoy life without contributing, then you're just a guest. Why do women these days move into a man's home for half a year or two, and then leave? Because she was a guest all along. She thought she was just visiting. She wasn't there to build a life with the family. From a psychological perspective, how can men avoid being manipulated by women? If you can understand this video clearly, then in the future, you absolutely won't be manipulated by any woman. Let's get straight to the point. If you're meeting a woman for the first time and need to interact with her, what's the correct order to present yourself? First, show your strength. Simply put, make her feel that you are valuable. Then, show your sense of boundaries, let her know your bottom lines and your personal framework, the things that are non-negotiable. Only after that, you show your friendliness and romance. This order is very important. In fact, the men who easily get manipulated by women usually start off by showing friendliness too thoroughly. They're overly nice, eager to please, and submissive. They think that by doing this, they can quickly win over a woman and get close to her fast. But they overlook one thing: what kind of woman are they dealing with? If the woman is high level and has strong awareness, then there's no problem. She'll understand you and treat you with equal politeness and respect. However, most women who like to manipulate men are actually narrow-minded and low-level. They will see your kindness and eagerness to please as a sign that you're beneath them, even think that you're groveling. So when you come across this kind of woman and something feels off, you must immediately pull back your kindness, understand? Never elevate this kind of person to a position they don't deserve. Otherwise, they will absolutely keep stepping on you and stringing you along. Both the body and soul of a woman crave these three types of men. What women need most is satisfaction on both a physical and psychological level. And today, these three types of men can be said to be their favorites. What I'm going to say today might sound a bit sharp, but if you can understand even a little, you won't lack women around you. If you fully master all 3 points, then attracting women will become as easy as breathing. First, lustful men. Don't immediately assume that lustful is a negative word. Men who know how to appreciate beauty are actually liked by women. Think about it, women put so much effort into dieting and dressing up, isn't it all just to attract attention? Opposites attract. If a man sees a beautiful woman and shows no reaction, then what's the point of all that effort? Of course, women do hate certain kinds of men. They really dislike perverts, those creepy guys who sneak glances and whisper behind their backs. But if you genuinely like a woman, then openly compliment her, openly admire her. I guarantee she'll happily accept it and have a good impression of you. Just remember, there's nothing wrong with appreciating beautiful things. The key is knowing your boundaries. Second, the irrational man. Many people think that dating should follow the rules, get to know each other, build a connection, then fall in love. But this thinking isn't entirely correct. Think about it, haven't you seen women act hard to get with nice guys but throw themselves at players? That's because you're too proper, too by the book. But in a woman's mind, emotional logic is very simple. You like me, so you must chase me. That makes it easier for her to control you. On the other hand, those so-called bad boys chase women however they want. If they feel like it, they chase. If not, they move on. Some even flirt with several women at once. To women, the message is, I like you a bit, so I'll try pursuing you. That uncertainty actually creates a sense of urgency for the woman, and she starts trying to win his attention. So you see, different strategies in dating lead to completely different outcomes. Third, the shameless man. This one matters in love, work, and life. Why do some men get totally dominated in relationships? It's not because they lack money or ability, it's because they care too much about saving face. If a woman gets a little cold, they start feeling upset, even overly emotional. Come on, acting all heartbroken just because things don't go your way? That's not going to work, brothers. Even bad boys don't always succeed in chasing women. But their mindset is solid. They know that even if they fail 100 times, succeeding once is enough. So when it comes to chasing women, it's all about your mindset. While others panic, you stay calm. That naturally gives you a stronger presence. To women, that makes you seem more reliable and safe. If your mindset is weak, even if a woman takes the initiative, you're likely to mess it up in the end. Got it? Class dismissed. Lately, I've noticed that many men are very resistant to blind dates. In their own words, they spend a lot of time and money, only to be told by the woman, you're a good guy but we're not a match. Compared to many women who go to this matchmaking event today and that singles party tomorrow, I've found that a lot of men nowadays seem to no longer be fixated on getting married or carrying on the family line. Most of their interests lie in travel, cars, and video games. Take one of my relatives for example, he's 35 this year. A few days ago, someone tried to introduce him to a potential partner and asked him to go meet her. He flat out refused and said, forget it, I'd rather play a couple more rounds of games than go through that experience. And it's not just blind dates. He's not even interested in dating anymore. Unless he meets someone he really likes, he won't bother to pursue her. I've noticed that a lot of men are like this now. Unless they get a clear signal from the woman, they're very reluctant to make an effort. Even the smallest bit of effort is squeezed out like toothpaste, little by little. Why? Because they're afraid their efforts won't be reciprocated. That's why in today's dating scene there are more women than men. Not long ago there was a matchmaking event in Hangzhou. Apparently, the number of men who showed up was pitifully low. I often hear some women say, I have a car, a house, and the ability to make money. I already have everything. Why would I still need a man? When I hear women say things like that, honestly, I feel like maybe their mindset isn't on a very high level. I often say this, for women like us who can make money, have a car, a house, and everything, we also need a husband. Whatever you think you need, I need too. It's not that just because we have everything, we don't need a man. In fact, we need men even more. Let's think about this for a second. Are you saying the only reason to find a man or a husband is because you lack something? Because you're not doing well in life? Do you look for love for a husband only because you can't afford food, can't drive a car, or can't own a house, so that's why you look for a man? No, it's because we already have everything and we're doing well that we're qualified to choose our partner, our husband. I wouldn't marry someone just because he has money, a car, or a house. For example, I also have the ability to earn money and afford all of that myself. I marry him because I'm choosing a way of life. I marry him because I love him. In the eyes of some Chinese female celebrities, Chinese men are seen as greasy and unattractive, while marrying foreign women is viewed as a form of escape and rebellion. Behind this choice lies dissatisfaction with the high financial and material demands, as well as emotional strain, in the domestic marriage market. Foreign women often do not have these requirements. They value personal character and emotional connection more. This has led Chinese men to find more equal and respectful romantic relationships abroad. However, this trend of marrying foreign women has also sparked some controversy. Some Chinese women have expressed dissatisfaction. They believe this reflects Chinese men avoiding the pressures of the domestic marriage market. Some even compare it to human trafficking. This reaction may stem from a desire to defend the current state of the domestic marriage market, or from a strong attachment to traditional views on love and marriage. For example, a Russian woman shared her happy marriage with an ordinary Chinese man on Chinese social media. She was met with a storm of insults from some Chinese women. Some mocked her, saying she was only fit to be with a pig like a Chinese man, while others told her to get out of China. Some even questioned what was there to be proud of in continuing the inferior genes of Chinese men. There was once an American man named Maynard who couldn't make a living in his own country. A decade ago, he came to China to work as a martial arts coach. During these 10 years, he claims to have slept with 1,242 Chinese women. He himself couldn't even remember their identities, ages, or professions, and most of them were students or young women. On social media, the topic of Chinese men marrying foreign women has triggered widespread debate. Some Chinese women have responded with mockery and resentment, viewing it as a symptom of Chinese men's struggles in the domestic marriage scene.